In lieu of the recent budget crisis, some of you may be wondering why you survived while others did not. I've created this dynamic presentation so that you can better understand the Teacher Tenure Act and also develop a better understanding of how administration determines who stays and who goes. Michigan Teacher Tenure Act, a dynamic and possibly award-winning presentation by Joshua Smith. Michigan Teacher Tenure Act, the objective and rationale of the Act. Relative to continuing tenure of office of certified teachers in public educational institutions, this is to provide for probationary periods, to regulate discharges or demotions, to provide for resignations and leaves of absence, to create a state tenure commission, and to prescribe the powers and duties thereof, and to prescribe penalties for violation and of provisions of this act. A teacher is defined as a person employed by a school for a full year. This definition exempts any person with a suspended or revoked license. There's two types of teachers that are defined within the Teacher Tenure Act. First is a probationary teacher. This is a teacher that's certified and within their first 4 years of employment within the district. The other type of teacher is the tenured teacher. Once a teacher has worked for 4 years with a district, they automatically have tenure. One common misconception is that teachers are actually given tenure once their administrators feel that they are ready. Some even believe that they could get tenure early by being really good. This is not true. Any teacher that completes their 4th year automatically gets tenure under this act. New teachers within our district and probationary teachers, the teachers in their first 4 years, will be provided with a development plan. We'll also do a minimum of 2 observations, at least 60 days apart, and a final recorded evaluation. This will be done every year of the first 4-year period. Essentially, we have 4 years to determine whether or not you are a good match for our district students. Any failure on our end to carry out these observations or submit paperwork regarding your progress will be held by the state as evidence of a job well done on your part. Now moving on to tenured teachers. After completing the probationary period, the district will have to continuously employ if physically possible. If we have large layoffs and 2 teachers in a single department must be let go, if one of the teachers is tenured and the other is not, the tenured teacher will always be retained regardless of acumen and ability. New state laws do make yearly observations and evaluations of teachers mandatory, as this previously was not the case. Now moving on to teachers that have achieved tenure and then begin underachieving. Should it be discovered that a tenured teacher is underperforming, the following actions will be taken. All charges regarding observed poor performance will be put into writing. If no improvement is evident, a written warning will be issued and corrections will be enforced. If the issue persists, the board has the right to suspend a teacher. Removal could result in requesting for the suspension of a teacher's license, and termination is possible. Any teacher that's convicted of a felony can be removed immediately. Removal of a tenured teacher and or revocation of their license is usually taken before a tenure commission for final arbitration. Sometimes good teachers in other districts are laid off due to budget cuts. A tenured teacher that moves into another district will go back to a probationary status. After 2 years, the teacher will be granted tenure again instead of the initial 4. While on probation, a former tenured teacher does not have the rights they had at their former district. They are new to their district and do not have seniority or tenure. Behind one door is tenure, behind the other is flipping burgers at McDonald's. Ha ha ha. All joking aside, should the occurrence arise that your contract is not renewed or you have been suspended momentarily or indefinitely, you can always appeal. This starts with your union and could go as far as the Tenure Commission and arbitration. Who makes up this mystic Tenure Commission? 5 people make up the Tenure Commission. 2 certified classroom teachers, 1 member of a board of education, 1 person that is not a board member or a teacher, and 1 superintendent. The state will provide legal counsel to you and the board, and the hearing will be recorded. Now let's look at some really fantastic examples, as I have fun laying people off. Jose, I know we've never talked about this before and you're in the middle of your 3rd year of teaching, but you're underachieving. You're fired!
You can't do that.
You're right, Jose. I can't do that. Or at least I shouldn't. After interviewing the assistant superintendent at Kent ISD and the current superintendent of Muskegon Public Schools, Betty Savage, They both identified the problematic circumstances with letting go any teacher when proper documentation hasn't taken place. If you were a tenured teacher, the documentation may even have to be over a long period of time. Hey Jose, I know you're probably one of our best teachers, but remember that time that you got caught with 7 kilos of cocaine and that 14-year-old girl in your van? Yeah, we're gonna have to let you go.
You can't do that.
No way, Jose. I can do that. In fact, I have to. No matter how good or how long you have been teaching, felonies, especially misconduct pertaining to a child, are immediate grounds for suspension and eventual termination. Hey, Jose. You and Mr. shows up to work on time, but that's pretty much it. Both teach English 10, and even though you are by far the better teacher, due to the layoff projection and your probationary status, I'm obligated to give you this pink slip.
You can't do that.
Sorry, Jose. I may not want to, but in this case I have to. The Michigan Teacher Tenure Act states that in the case of layoffs, the tenured teacher is the teacher that must be retained. Sorry, buddy. I'd like to say that it hurts me more than it hurts you, but I will still be able to feed my family, while you start over some sad somewhere else, and your 9 children share WIC benefits as you and your wife eat from hotel dumpsters. Sorry, Jose. So sorry. Well, staff, there you have it. Any questions? No? Okay. Well, that's the end of my dynamic presentation, and I hope none of this information is necessary in the immediate future. Have a great night.